हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम सगळ्यांके सगळ्यांके स्वागत आसा आयच्या स्पेशल सेशन अंतू आजी इस राधाकुंड प्रभु जिल कृपाना आमगेलोट आसाची इस गौरांग दर्शन प्रभुजी तंका इंट्रोड्यूस करूक येता आसाची इस अनंत राघव प्रभु जॉइन जाता आसाची आमगे स्पीकर जॉइन जालेलो आसा इस गौरांग दर्शन प्रभुजी अनंत राघव प्रभुजी तुम्हें रेडी आसमन जाल्यारी स्पीकर आल इंट्रोडक्शन दिव्यता वेलकम प्रभुजी वांछाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
हरे कृष्णा, am I audible?
वही प्रभुजी।
हरे कृष्णा, भागवत पुराण कोंकणी तो सगळ्यात स्वागत असं तर आमगेले भागवत पुराण कोंकणी टीम मुरलीधर चरण and all the devotees त्यांनी एक इनिशिएटिव्ह घेतला भागवत प्रवाह मैली द होल फ्लो ऑफ श्रीमद भागवतम करचेक आणि ताजे खातीर आम्ही हांगा द ऑथर ऑफ द बुक श्रीमान गौरांग दर्शन प्रभू आम्ही आपयला. Gaurang Darshan Prabhu is here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. So we do this Bhagavad Purana Konkani for quite a long time, and we have participants from different parts of the world. And I am also one of the regular participants and attendees of the program. So Murlidhar Charan Prabhu had requested me, since you are here, so I thought I should introduce you. So for the information of all the devotees, we are very fortunate to have His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. Personally, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu is one of my very close friends, and he is one of a very, very wonderful devotees and very sincere devotees I know. And actually, education-wise, he has studied from IIC Bangalore, one of the top colleges in all over Asia, and he's been done his education in IIC Bangalore, and then he joined the Mumbai Chowpatty Temple, and since then he was very much interested in the Shastras. And even when we started our Govardhan Eco Village, many of us have come to Govardhan Eco Village. So even in Govardhan Eco Village, in the beginning days, there were a lot of construction happening, and each of us were involved in the construction activities. And even on the construction site, I used to see him with the Bhagavatam, and he used to prepare his notes. And in every situation, he was, whenever he used to get time, he started studying and make his notes. And today his notes have become famous all over the world in the form of the Bhagavad Subodhini. And then he's such a prolific author. He's writing book after book, inspiring people and making the Krishna conscious philosophy so easy, from children to elders to adult to old age. Everybody, they are inspiring, and all the senior devotees in the world of ISKCON, they're appreciating his books. And Gaurang Darshan Prabhu will be happy to know that we are also started the Bhagavad Pravaha. I remember the day when we did the first Bhagavad Pravaha shoot for the Hare Krishna TV, and it was you who actually took it forward, and you had inspired so many people by that series. So I once again thank you for coming and inspiring the whole community here. So over to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Let us welcome Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. Gaurang Darshan Prabhu आमगेले भागवत पुराण कोंकणीन तू आम्ही स्वागत करता ती तीन वेळा हरी बोल बोलू. हरी बोल, हरी बोल,
हरि बोल।
So Gaurang Darshan Prabhu, I just came to know 5 minutes before. I have some service, but I just came to introduce you. I couldn't attend the whole session, but thank you very much.
Thank you. So the session is in English only. There's some line-to-line translation, nothing like that, right?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you will continue in English, and at the end we will give the summary in Konkani.
Oh, that's great, Prabhu.
So you won't be interrupted in between. So you can continue with the flow.
Okay. when I
His
heard
Grace
some
Vip-
mountain
yeah,
sentences.
His Grace Viprasudama Prabhu will give it at the end.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. So I'll do some half an hour, and then he will do the half an hour. How much time should we?
Prabhuji, you can continue up to 1 hour, then he will do a summary at the end.
Okay, fine. Fine, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Anantaraga Prabhu, for your generous introduction. And apart from all the other wonderful qualities that you have, which I'm grateful for, at the end of your whatever brief intro, you mentioned about the Bhagavad Pravaha series on YouTube, ISKCON Desire Tree. I must say all the credit for all the videos should go to Anantaraga Prabhu. So I don't have any credit there. Actually, he told me we need to do something, and then first canto of Bhagavad Pravaha I did in 5 days. Then he said, let's do second canto also. Then I did in 3 days. Then he said, let's do third canto also. I said, it's getting too much. I have other things to do. Then I managed to do it in some 7 days or 8 sessions, something like that. Then somehow by his push, I finished till 6 cantos, apart from many other things that's happening. Then I stopped. Then after some time, he said, "Bro, many devotees are asking," and then he sent some audio of some kid who got little glued to Bhagavad Pravaha, saying that we want you to continue till 12th canto, and many other devotees are requesting. So it's all because of Anantaraga Prabhu's push that I did 70 videos of Bhagavad Pravaha. And of course, we have Muralidhar Prabhu, Murali Prabhu. I don't Muralidhar Gopal Prabhu now, his initiated name. Yeah, he's the one who patiently recorded all the 70 videos. So the credit should go to these two Vaishnavas. Okay. I'm just an instrument in their will. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be a part of your Sangha. And I'm very happy that you're starting to read Bhagavad Prabhu. When I wrote the book, I never thought somebody will read. And just 5 minutes back, I said, what's the topic? The topic is author's note and prologue. I didn't understand. I never expected that I'll have to speak on author's note and prologue in a class. Okay, but anyways, very, very happy and inspired to see your dedication to study Bhagavatam. We'll begin. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees who assembled for this first session of Bhagavad Pravaha. Today we'll be discussing some intro to the book. We will not go into the first canto as per the plan of the organizers. So, Bhagavatam is the topmost Vaishnava literature available for the humanity. Vyasadeva has written several scriptures, but he is not satisfied. So what did Vyasadeva do? He started contemplating. Despite writing so many scriptures, like the Puranas, Mahabharata, and before that Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutras, still, why am I not having that satisfaction of heart. So when he honestly contemplated, then he only understood. Maybe I have not sufficiently pointed out the glories of the Supreme Lord in the books that I have written. Maybe I have not sufficiently emphasized the most glorious path of bhakti. So I think I should do that. Then only I'll be satisfied. So this was the thought process of Vyasadeva before writing Bhagavatam. As he was contemplating like that, his guru Narada Muni appears in front of him and he says the same thing. Oh Vyasadeva, you are dissatisfied, you are despondent, you feel a sense of incompleteness in your heart despite doing so many things because you have not sufficiently glorified bhakti. You have not sufficiently described the pastimes of Krishna in the books that you have written. Yes, you have discussed Krishna's pastimes to some degree, but there is no repeated glorification. There is no repeated emphasis on the path of Bhakti Yoga, which is very dear to the hearts of all the Vaishnavas and Krishna, of course. See, please write that Bhagavatam in such a way that the hankerings of advanced Vaishnavas are satisfied and the miseries of conditioned souls are mitigated. Two purposes of Bhagavatam. One is, if the audience are very advanced devotees, how is Bhagavatam relevant for them? Bhagavatam has so many episodes like Gopi Gita, Bhramar Gita, Yugala Gita, the pastimes of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan, and very deep rasic episodes, and very deep philosophical episodes like Uddhava Gita, Kapila's teachings, and also the teachings of Navayogendras, okay, and prayers of personified Vedas. Very intense philosophical episodes are there in Bhagavatam, and intense loving spiritual emotions are also depicted in Bhagavatam, especially through Vrindavan stories and the Gopi stories. And also something that is very relevant for common people, like how to come out of miseries, how to deal with the distresses of life, and Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Virat Roop, creation of universe. So Bhagavatam has so many topics that caters to the needs of entire humanity. And Bhagavatam is very nicely systematically presented in 12 cantos, covering 10 topics. So thus Bhagavatam satisfies the hankerings of very, very advanced devotees by giving sufficient philosophical and emotional and rasic stuff for them to contemplate upon. And Bhagavatam also caters to the needs of very neophyte practitioners of Bhakti Yoga or those who have not yet begun Bhakti Yoga. Okay, on one hand, Bhagavatam says, Dharma projita kaita votra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parairishvaraha Sadyo hridi avarudhyate trakritibhi susrushibhistakshanat. So on one hand, right in the beginning of Bhagavatam, it's mentioned that Bhagavatam is understood and relishable by pure-hearted, non-envious devotees. Okay. But later in Bhagavatam, it's also mentioned that Akamaha sarvakamo va moksha kama udaradhihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Akamaha, whether you have no material desires, sarvakamova, or you have all kinds of material desires, moksha kama, or you are desiring specifically for liberation. Akama are devotees, those who don't have material desires, bhaktas. Sarvakama means karmis. They desire so much material enjoyment. Moksha kama means jnanis. They seek liberation. Whatever may be your background, you may have been a karmi or a jnani or a yogi or a bhakta. Doesn't matter. You can always study Srimad Bhagavatam and practice the teachings of Bhagavatam, which is essentially Bhakti Yoga. So on one hand, we saw one shloka that's emphasizing that Bhagavatam is meant for pure-hearted, non-envious devotees. Later, it's also mentioned that Bhagavatam and Bhakti Yoga are meant for a person of any background, right? Akama, Sarvakama, Mokshakama. So what does that mean? It's not that these two shlokas are contradicting each other. These shlokas are establishing that Bhagavatam is a relevant scripture for everybody. The radar of Bhagavatam, the spectrum of Bhagavatam is so big that it can accommodate people of multiple backgrounds. Whether somebody is deeply into material enjoyment or highly renounced or anywhere in between, Bhagavatam caters to their needs. Okay. So Bhagavatam presents the stories of very exalted sages like Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. Bhagavatam also presents the stories of very great emperors and kings like Parikshit Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, and Yudhishthir Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj. And Bhagavatam also presents the stories of little children, kid devotees like Uddhava, Dhruva, Prahlad. Bhagavatam also presents the stories of some very exalted women like Yashoda Mata, Devaki Mata, Draupadi, then Kunti Maharani, Devahuti, right? And Bhagavatam also presents the stories of people who are very tyrannic, but later they were transformed. Okay. So Bhagavatam is having something for everyone. Okay. So there is no category of audience that's left out. Oh, for this audience, Bhagavatam is not relevant. You cannot say that. Bhagavatam is relevant for all kinds of audiences, whether they are children or men or women or old people or multimillionaires, kings or beggars on the street, or old people or sages or kings. Bhagavatam has all kinds of pastimes. There's something for everybody. Okay. So you want to have great satisfaction for your intelligence by studying thick philosophy? Yes, Bhagavatam presents the details of creation, cosmology, philosophy. Okay. And are you are quite on the emotional side where you want depiction or reading of the depiction of very fine sentiments and emotions of devotees, that fine love between the Lord and his dear associates. Yes, Bhagavatam has all that, right? So this is the speciality of Bhagavatam. Say there is a cook who made some very nice preparations, a delicious feast, with some 50 dishes. And then somebody asked him, what's your favorite dish? What is your recommendation? What's the chef's recommendation? Then the cook may say that I have made all the dishes with so much of sincerity, but this dish I have invested my special sweet potency and I have made it more attentively, more excitingly. I think I recommend this more than anything else. So when the chef himself says like that, you give more importance to that item, right? Similarly, Vyasadeva compiled so many literatures, so many spiritual literatures, scriptures. But at the end, he said, Kim va parairishvaraha sadyo hridi avaridhyate attarkritibhis susrushibhishanat. Kim va parair. What's the need for any other scripture? The author of multiple scriptures is saying that just read the scripture, there is no need to read other scriptures. Now, of course, that does not mean we undermine or underestimate or demean any other scripture. That's not the purpose of this statement. But the purpose of this statement made by Vyasadeva in this shloka is that Bhagavatam is sufficient for you to realize God, is to connect with God, Bhagavatam is sufficient for you to capture Krishna within your heart. Susrushubhistakshanat. Krishna will at once be eager to be arrested in your heart when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam sincerely, right? So that assurance the author gives. This is the best book. Of all the books that I have written, this is the best book. When the author says that, then naturally you need to give more importance to that. Okay. He has invested so much of his love and energy and potency and thought into it. Okay. So that's the speciality of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Just like a chef recommends a particular special dish, here is the author recommending the best of his books. So Bhagavatam is best of Vyasadev's works. And also in Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva is at his best in poetry also. Even the language of Bhagavatam is so sweet. Certain shlokas are extremely charming to the heart. Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam Tadeva shashvan manaso mahutsavam Tadeva shokarnava soshanam rinam Yaduttama shloka yasho anugiyate Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam. Okay, that Bhagavatam itself is extremely sweet. Ruchiram. Navam navam always appears fresh. Okay, although you have heard certain stories of Bhagavatam, you feel like hearing them again and again. Even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear the stories of Prahalad and Dhruva again and again. Repeatedly he used to hear. Okay. Tadeva Ramyam. Tadeva means that only is Ramyam, very charming, very attractive. Ruchiram, very tasty. The slokas of Bhagavatam are tasty. Okay. So Bhagavatam is the best of all the works of Vyasadeva. And Bhagavatam is also considered the Buddha incarnation of Krishna. So when Krishna appears in the form of a hog, he is Varaha avatar. The Lord appears in the form of a tortoise, he is Kurma avatar. When the Lord appears in the form of a half man and half lion, he is Narasimha avatar. But when the Lord appears in the form of a book, he is Grantha avatar Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? Grantha avatar. And this Grantha is non-different from Krishna. Krishna and this book are non-different. Just like there are 12 cantos in Srimad Bhagavatam, these 12 cantos are compared to various bodily limbs of Krishna. Okay. You know that shloka, Padau yadiyau prathama dvitiyau tritiya turyau kathitau yadurum Nabhistatha panchama eva shashto bhujantaram dor yugalam tathanyau Kantastu rajan navamo yadiyo mukharavindam dashamaha prafullam ekadasho yasya lalatapattam shiropitu dvadasha eva bhati Padau yadiyo prathama dvitiyo. The first two cantos of Bhagavatam are the lotus feet of Krishna. Tritiya turyo kathito yaduru. Third and fourth cantos are the thighs of Krishna. Nabhis tatha panchama eva. The fifth canto is compared to the lotus navel of Krishna. Okay. Shashto bhujantaram. Bhuja means arms. Bhujantaram means that which is enclosed within the arms, that is chest. That is Shashta. Sixth canto is Krishna's chest. Okay. And Dor Yugalam Tathanyo, the next two cantos, means seventh and eighth cantos, are Krishna's hands, arms. Okay. Kanthastu Rajan Navamo Yadiyo. The ninth canto is compared to Krishna's throat. Mukharavindam Dashamaha Prafullam. Krishna's beautiful, smiling face, charming face is compared with the 10th canto Bhagavatam. Ekadasho Yasya Lalata Pattam. The 11th canto is his forehead. Shiropitu Dvadasha Eva Bhati. So Krishna's head is compared to the 12th canto. Thus, when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam from the first canto to the last canto, you are basically taking darshan of Krishna's form. Right? So darshan, the word darshan has two meanings. You know that? The first meaning of darshan is devotional sight, spiritual sight. When you go in front of the deities on the altar in a temple, and you look at the deities, that is called darshan. The deities are giving darshan, or you are taking darshan. They're giving and you are taking darshan. So that's a devotional sight, spiritual sight, enlivening sight. That is one darshan. Second meaning of darshan is a philosophical insight. Okay. When you try to reveal the inner meanings of a shloka or a pastime or some kind of concept, it is considered that you are giving darshan of that concept, darshan of that shloka. Okay. Shad darshan. Okay. Bhagavata darshan. Okay. So darshan means a philosophical insight, a deep insight. So we have two kinds of darshan in Bhagavatam. Okay, devotional side and philosophical insight. By studying Srimad Bhagavatam, you get a lot of philosophical insights, and by studying Bhagavatam, you are basically taking darshan of Krishna, because every canto is compared to a particular limb of Krishna, as we have just discussed. When you are reading from first canto to last canto, you are basically taking darshan of Krishna from his feet to his head. Okay, top to bottom or bottom to top darshan. Okay, so like that, Vyasadeva has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is meant to reveal Krishna's form, Krishna's names, Krishna's pastimes, and Krishna's qualities page by page. Every page you are reading and then you are turning the page, you are basically understanding an aspect of Lord Krishna. You are getting more and more acquainted with the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela of Krishna. Okay. And when we read Srimad Bhagavatam with sincerity, then we will understand Krishna's tattva and will become eligible to be reinstated in his loving ways. Right? As Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita also, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. How many of you know this shloka? Very simple and popular shloka. Janma means Krishna's appearance. Karma means Krishna's activities. Janma karma cha me divyam. My janma and karma are divyam, transcendental, divine. Right? Evam yo vetti tattvataha. Whoever understands my janma and karma, tattvataha, in truth, properly, if you understand Krishna's appearances and activities, what's the result? Tyaktva deham. After giving up this body, punarjanma naiti. They will not attain another birth. Mameti sorjana. They will attain Krishna. Krishna said this. Krishna just said this in Bhagavad Gita. But did Krishna describe his janma in Bhagavad Gita? Did Krishna describe karma in Bhagavad Gita? He only said, my janma and karma are divine. But where is the janma leela of Krishna described? In which scripture describes the descent of Krishna very elaborately? Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. Initial chapters describe the janma of Krishna. You read the 3rd chapter of 10th canto, that is birth of Lord Krishna. And Krishna doesn't describe any karmas that he does. Karma is not the material fruitive action that we do. Karma basically means action. Karma has multiple meanings. As soon as we hear the word karma, you may think, oh, prarabdha karma, aprarabdha karma. So that's not the one that we are talking about. Karma basically means action, activities. So the activities of Krishna are not described in Bhagavad Gita. Gita describes a philosophy. Lot of philosophy about kala, karma, swabhava and all. But pastimes are not there. Gita is not a storybook. So Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, you understand my janma and karma, then you will come to me. But where to understand this janma and karma from? If you really have to follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, you have to read Bhagavatam. Right? So if we are not reading Bhagavatam, we have not understood Bhagavad Gita. We are not actually following Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita without reading Bhagavatam. One of the most important crucial instruction in Bhagavad Gita is, you understand my janma and karma, then you will come to me. You read Bhagavad Gita, I understood. Now you understood, but what are you doing about it? Read Bhagavatam, and you understand Krishna's janma, Krishna's karma, then you will go back to Godhead. So one who is actually following the teachings of Bhagavad Gita has to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, there is no other way, especially the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Okay, of course we will be able to appreciate 10th canto only to the degree we go through the first 9 cantos, because first 9 cantos describe the sweetness of Krishna, greatness of Krishna, and the 10th canto describes the sweetness of Krishna. Without understanding the greatness of Krishna, we may misunderstand Krishna's sweetness. We may think that Krishna is very ordinary, like any other human being, because his mother is scolding him, chastising him, even binding him. Okay. So, and Krishna is crying also, shedding tears also. Right. So we may misunderstand that Krishna is like any ordinary child. Because every household you see, mothers may scold or punish their little kids. When they're young, they do some mischief, they do some naughty activities. Mothers generally become little strict once in a while, lovingly. Okay. And that's happening in Vrindavan also. Yashodamata is doing the same thing with Krishna. But unless we understand that this Krishna is so great, by studying the first 9 cantos, we cannot appreciate the 10th canto properly. Okay. So, compassionate Vyasadeva compiled this Bhagavatam for the benefit of all of us, for the future generations. Okay. And his previous works did not sufficiently satisfy him, as we discussed right in the beginning of our session. Like all the Vedic literatures are compared with a wish-fulfilling tree, Kalpavriksha. Okay. So Vyasadeva compiled Vedic literatures, which is compared to Kalpavriksha. But still he is not satisfied. Kalpavriksha means desire tree, isn't it? When you go to a desire tree, your desire has to be satisfied. But he is the one who created this Kalpavriksha, desire tree, but he is not satisfied. The reason is, when you go to a Kalpavriksha, you need fruit. Okay. So when you go to a tree, will you eat the leaves or roots or the twigs or the stem? What you will eat? What is the most relishable part of a tree? The fruit. You pluck the fruit and eat it. And what is that fruit of the desire tree of all Vedic literatures? Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? You create a tree, but if the tree doesn't give any fruits, then the tree is not very much appreciated. Right? So Vyasadeva thought that I have created the tree, but I did not put a fruit there. And what is that fruit? Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpata rorgalitam phalam shukamukhaadamrtadrava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhurahorasika bhuvi bhavuka. Nigama kalpata ror. Nigama means all these scriptures which are written by Vyasadeva before writing Bhagavatam. They are like kalpataru. Okay. But galitam phalam, the ripened fruit of that desired tree of Vedic literature is Srimad Bhagavatam. First, Vyasadeva made a tree, nice tree, Kalpavriksha tree. Then he has given a fruit for it. Okay. So, like that. Next, this Bhagavatam is Akhila Shruti Saramekam, essence of all scriptures. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also said, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayastadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachitupasana Vrajabadhu Vargenaya Kalpita. He said, Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanaya. Our supreme Aradhya Devata is Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna. Tadhama Vrindavanam. And the greatest worship of Krishna is done by the gopis of Vrindavan. Okay. He established the glory of Krishna, Vrindavan and gopis. Okay. But later he said that Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Babalam Prema Pumartho Maham. So Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Amalam. This Bhagavatam is this Amala Purana or Amala Pramana, spotless evidence. The most authentic literature is Srimad Bhagavatam. If Bhagavatam has certain details which are not conforming with other books, you need to give priority to what's mentioned in Bhagavatam. Right? Because Pramanam, Malam, unalloyed, pure evidence, spotless evidence. Prema Pumartho Mahan. And also Mahaprabhu said Prema means love of God is the ultimate essence of human life. goal of human life. Prayojan is Krishna Prema. Prema namadbhutartha Shravana pathagatah tasya namna mahinnah Ko veta kasya vrinda Vana vipina maha madhurishu pravesha Ko va janati radham Paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam Ekaschaitannya chandraha Parama karunaya sarvamavischakara Prema namadbhutartha. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us that prema or Krishna prema is the adbhuta artha, the most divine, wonderful essence of human life, purpose of human life, aim, goal of human life. That is prema, Krishna prema. How do you attain that Krishna prema? By chanting Krishna Nama. But how do you get that inspiration to chant that Krishna Nama or attain Krishna prema? So, Krishna Nam definitely leads to Krishna Prem, but Shravanam also leads to Krishna Prem, right? Shravana pathagatah tasya namna mahinnah. Therefore, Mahaprabhu also recommended the practice of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam along with chanting the holy names of Krishna. Okay. So, chanting is not only chanting holy names, we can chant Krishna's glories also. Okay. So, like that, Mahaprabhu also recommended Bhagavatam as the spotless authority, Pramana Mamalam. And Rupa Goswami also, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, declares that studying Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is one of the 5 potent forms of bhakti. What are the other 4 potent forms? See, Mahaprabhu said 5 things. What are the 5 things? Krishna, Vrindavan, Gopis, Bhagavatam, and Prema. Fine? These are the 5 conclusive opinions of Lord Chaitanya. And what are the 5 potent forms of bhakti as given by Rupa Goswami? Number 1, Vaishnava Seva. Then Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam. Then deity worship, Dham Darshan, and holy name of Krishna. So, in this set of 5 items recommended by Rupa Goswami, in this set of 5 items recommended by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam is there. And Bhagavatam describes the glory of all these 10 items. Some are overlapping, of course. So, the glory of all these items are also present in Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So, Prabhupada considered Bhagavatam the postgraduate study of the science of God. Okay. So, Sanatana Goswami says that this Bhagavatam book is not different from Krishna. Sri Krishna Parivartita. If you want to describe what Bhagavatam is, just say Sri Krishna Parivartita. Okay. What is that? Krishna went back to his abode, but later he thought, oh, I left these suffering souls of material world. I need to go back and rescue them. So he came back again in the form of Bhagavatam. Just after the disappearance of Krishna, Sukadeva Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. Basically, Krishna disappeared in a human form and reappeared in a book form. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. After his disappearance from this earth planet as a human being, Krishna came back in the form of a book. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So, Sri Krishna Parivartita. And Bhagavatam is called Mahapurana because it covers 10 topics. What are the 10 topics? They are mentioned in the second canto of Bhagavatam. Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Uti, Manvantara, Ishanukata, Nirodha, Mukti. Ashraya, the final topic. So, we will not elaborate on that. But Bhagavatam has all this. So, now, what exactly is the main subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam? We already discussed the main subject matter of Bhagavatam is Bhakti. All the stories and shlokas and different philosophical episodes, all of them are ultimately, categorically, conclusively establishing that Bhakti Yoga is the supreme spiritual path. Okay, that's Bhagavatam. We can approach Krishna through our work, then it is called Karma Yoga. And one who approaches Krishna through knowledge is following Jnana Yoga. Then those who want to approach Krishna through meditation, they are following Dhyana Yoga. But of all these things, like work, knowledge, and meditation, the connection that is established to Krishna is limited, right? But when we try to connect with Krishna through bhakti, through love, then it is complete connection. Let me give a little more explanation. You may work for somebody, but does it mean that you love them? So there are so many employees in so many companies. Just tell me, take one company, there are 1,000 employees in that company. All these 1,000 employees love the boss or not? They're working for the boss, but do they love him? Not necessarily, right? Some may love, but not everybody. Okay. So you may work for someone, but you may not love that person. Means work does not include love. Second, knowledge. You may know 100 people, but do you love all the 100 people? You know how many people whom you know and you don't love them? You can count. You'll get so many numbers. I know, 1,000 people. Do you love all the 1,000 people? So having knowledge about a person does not mean you love that person. So work means karma doesn't include love. Knowledge or jnana does not include love. So meditation, what is meditation? Deep thinking, dhyana. Dhyana is deep thinking. You may think of someone, you may deeply think of somebody, but it's not necessarily with love. How many people you are thinking about every day? Do you love all of them? Some people you may lovingly think about them. Some people you think about them with hatred or with some grudge, or if not hatred and grudge, maybe you may think about them out of anger also, out of frustration also, right? So you may think about somebody, but you may not love that person. Means dhyana also does not include love. But if you love somebody, means you have bhakti for somebody, Krishna, you naturally work for that person, you naturally know that person, and you naturally think about that person. Means bhakti includes karma, bhakti includes dhyana, bhakti includes jnana. Do you agree with this? Right? You love Krishna, you work for Krishna. If you love Krishna, you know Krishna. You will be eager to know more and more about Krishna. So love includes knowledge. Okay. And you love Krishna, naturally you think about him. Okay. So bhakti includes karma, jnana, dhyana, but karma, dhyana, jnana they do not include bhakti. So that's why bhakti is the supreme path. And by the way, only bhakti exists in the spiritual world. Do you find karmis moving around in the spiritual world? Either in Vaikuntha or Goloka or Ayodhya, whichever spiritual planet you take, do you think any karmis are moving there? Do you think any jnanis are moving there? Do you think any yogis are there doing some meditation, trying to get ashtasiddhis? Or some jnanis aspiring for impersonal liberation? No. So karmis, jnanis and yogis, they don't exist in the spiritual world. Only bhaktas exist in the spiritual world. If you are aspiring to go to spiritual world, better perform bhakti. Forget karma, jnana and dhyana. Okay. Karma, in our bhakti context, karma is working for Krishna. Working to please Krishna. That's our karma. Mat karma krin mat paramo, Krishna said, right? You perform work for me. Mat paramo, consider me the supreme. Then knowledge. Yes, of course, we should have knowledge about Krishna. But that's devotional knowledge, not speculative knowledge. Not some intellectual gymnastics. Not some kind of obsession for philosophy, right? We know some philosophy. We have some knowledge, but all that knowledge should bring us to love Krishna more, appreciating Krishna more. What's the point of accumulating so much knowledge and you are confused what to do with life? Okay. That's why it's also mentioned that don't read so many books. Bahushastra bahuvakya chitte bhrama hai. If you read too many scriptures, too many statements of too many people, mind gets bewildered. There's one devotee named Tapan Mishra. He read so many books. He could not figure out what's the conclusion. He came to Lord Chaitanya. Mahaprabhu, I read so many books, but I didn't know what to do. What is my sadhana? What is my sadhya? I don't understand. And Mahaprabhu said, your sadhana is chanting Krishna's names, your sadhya is Krishna Prema. Sit here and sing. All the knowledge is gone. So we need to cultivate knowledge in such a way that increases our devotion, not some argumentative tendencies or some kind of speculative tendencies. Okay. So then Srimad Bhagavatam vividly teaches us the process of bhakti. So although Bhagavatam presents some little bit about karma, jnana, dhyana, but it's not the ultimate recommendation. They are presented just in the process of describing bhakti and also to give us a contrast. Okay. So then Bhagavatam is an elaborate literature with 18,000 shlokas. Yet the size of Bhagavatam is smaller compared to many other literatures. 18,000 is a reasonably small number. Maybe some 1 lakh shlokas of Mahabharata and many other Puranas are there. Even size-wise also Bhagavatam is little moderate. Okay, so that you understand it's very concise and essential. Okay, no need to get scared. Then great acharyas like Prabhupada and Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, they all have done great job in giving us very lucid explanations, commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam to assist us in our journey of understanding Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Okay, and what's required from our side to understand Bhagavatam? Sincerity, eagerness, enthusiasm. That's what is required to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. So with this, we'll conclude. I spoke for 45 minutes, something like that. If you have any questions, you can ask. But these are a few thoughts on the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any
His Grace
questions,
Gaurang Darshan
comments?
Prabhuji ki jai. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki jai. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If anyone has any questions, they can ask. Prabhuji, thank you very much for such a nice session. We'll wait for the questions if anyone has. Haribol? You can unmute yourself and ask the questions or put in the chat box, however comfortable you are.
No questions because the subject is very simple. You can do the translation, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhuji, we would like to thank you. Yeah, there is one question, one hand raised.
Yeah.
Yes, you can ask the
Mataji has a
question.
question.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Hare
Somebody
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for this wonderful class, Prabhuji. My simple question is, you just mentioned that whether it is Jnana Yogis, Dhyana Yogis or Karma Yogis, without having love for Krishna, they can never go back to Golok Vrindavan or they can never achieve perfection. So whether it is Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi or Dhyana Yogi, if they achieve perfection, then again they have to come back to this world only. If they will not be going to Golok Vrindavan.
Not necessarily. Golok Vrindavan, they'll not go 100% sure. That's very clear. Because they don't aim for Goloka. Those who are following path of karma, their aim is material enjoyment. Those who are following the path of Jnana, their aim is liberation. They end up in Brahman. Those who are following yoga, some aim for Ashtasiddhis and some aim for liberation. So when there is no aim to go to Goloka, how will they go? Only devotees aim to go to Goloka. Even in Bhakti Yoga also, there are some people who aim for Vaikuntha. Some people aim for Goloka. Okay. So those who are aiming for Vaikuntha, they end up in Vaikuntha. So going to Goloka is only for those people who are aspiring to go there. So Krishna will never act against our desire. Okay. So if there is no desire, karma yogis. Huh?
They will have to come back to this world only again, even after achieving perfection in whichever path they are going on.
It depends. If they go to Vaikuntha, for example, if they achieve perfection in the path that brings them to Vaikuntha, they don't have to come to material world at all. But if they aspire for Swargalok, they go to Swargalok. Definitely they have to come to Swargalok is also in the material world, by the way. Okay. Fine.
Thank you so much for this.
Prabhuji, there is one in chat box. It says Haribol to enhance taste towards how to enhance taste towards reading Srimad Bhagavatam on regular basis, despite we do Shravanam regularly.
We need to do Shravanam with concentration, with attention, with absorption. Shravanam may happen. You may hear 1 hour class while chatting. Class hearing is happening. Then also sending WhatsApp messages to people. Okay, or thinking of something. Class is happening. Think of something else. Okay, so basically, whether it is Shravanam or Kirtanam or Smaranam or whatever limb of bhakti that we are practicing, absorption is the key. Concentration is the key. Of course, it's very difficult to concentrate overnight. Mind is restless, chanchalam hi manaha Krishna pramati balavadrudham tasyaham nigraham manye vayor iva sudushkaram. Okay, it's very difficult even for Arjuna to control mind. He can control wind. Or to speak of a struggling sadhaka who is sleeping in japa. Okay, it's difficult. However, we should make an attempt. And that attempt to bring the mind back is called attentiveness. Yato yato nischalati vanas chinchalamassthiram tatastato niyam yaitat atmanyeva vasham nayet. Wherever the mind wanders, try to bring it back. Bring it back. Atmanyeva vasham nayet. Keep the mind under the control of yourself. Okay, that's what Krishna said. So we should make that attempt. That attempt to bring the mind back and focus on the activity that we are doing, Shravanam, is called attentiveness. Fine. So we are doing Shravanam, but we need to check the quality of our Shravanam. Are we attentively hearing? Or am I hearing just because I want to accumulate some information? Or am I hearing just because I have a class tomorrow? Sometimes we hear to speak, not to learn. Hearing is a source of our nourishment. We need to nourish the soul. Okay. Just like food is required to nourish the body, Shravanam is required to nourish the soul. So, of course, we have to hear before we speak. But speaking should not be the only impetus for hearing. There's a difference. You hear Harikatha nicely and then repeat it to somebody. That's great. But you hear only when you want to speak. Then that's something wrong. Just like in my childhood, my mother would ask, "Why are you not studying?" Study, study. I would simply answer, "I don't have an exam tomorrow. When I have exam tomorrow, then I will study." Right? So exam is an impetus to study. When there's no exam, start playing. Okay, that's what many kids do also. But whether there's exam or not, my mother would say, "You should study on a daily basis and cover the portions as they are being covered by your teachers. Then just before exam, you will not have so much load, isn't it?" Similarly, when you study on a regular basis, when you have a class, you will not have load. Actually, class is a byproduct of your own absorption in Shravanam and Pathanam. You study Bhagavatam, you hear Bhagavatam. You learn, you ruminate, you revise, you reflect. Whenever somebody asks you to speak, you speak. But you want to do all these things just 1 day before the class or 1 hour before the class, then class will become like a show, like a presentation, more than an expression of your love for Krishna. What is class? You express your appreciation for Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. For 1 hour, you just be Krishna conscious by speaking about Krishna. That is what class is, right? So, yes, we can develop taste for Srimad Bhagavatam to the degree we are absorbed in hearing Bhagavatam or studying Srimad Bhagavatam. A ritualistic way of hearing doesn't increase the taste. Still, it is beneficial. At least something is happening, something is going inside. But you want to take the best benefit of your hearing, your Sravana, then you must hear with absorption, with commitment, with deep devotion, and not motivated hearing. Let's not do motivated hearing, but let's do a sincere hearing. We are hearing not just to accumulate information, but to increase our love for Krishna. Okay, we are not hearing just to repeat that in some other class. We are hearing to nourish our soul. So when the motives are clear in hearing, then surely we'll develop love for Krishna. Taste is guaranteed in that. Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any
There's
other
one
question?
question in the chat box. It says, Hare Krishna, is it true that Srila Narottam Das Thakur bhajans have the same potency of reading Srimad Bhagavatam? Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Acharyas believe that even the Vaishnavas in those days, they also believe that Narottam Das Thakur's bhajans are no less than any scripture. Basically, scripture is not just the sequence of words that we find in the books, right? The essence of the scriptures is being presented by someone after having understood the scriptures, internalized the scriptures, absorbed the scriptures, and realized the scriptures. Whatever comes out of the person's mouth is also a scripture, right? So when somebody has digested the philosophy as presented in the scriptures and presenting that understanding in a lucid form for the understanding of common people, that's a scripture, as good as scripture, like that. Anything else? Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, I had a doubt on the lines Satyarupa Mataji had asked on the lines of liberation. So, the people who follow the marg of Jnana, Dhyana, and Karma, so I'm not very sure what is liberation to them. So, it's like I have some exposure to Vedanta. In there is like Dvaita Vedanta where Bhakti comes, and Advaita Vedanta where there is only Jnana, like Aham Brahmasmi. So the whole world is one. So they say that Bhakti Marga is just a means to the Advaita. So through Dvaita we reach Advaita. So though Bhakti is the sweetest and the easiest form of path to attain the Supreme, so the Advaita philosophers say, even the Swami Sarvapriyananda, whom like I used to follow, so they speak about it um, the ultimate truth. The people who follow Jnana Marga, it's like it is the mean, like the whole, there is oneness. There are no two, like two people, like Bhakta and God. So can you give some comment on that?
Okay. So, Dvaita is true, Advaita is also true. Okay. Our philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva reconciles both. You know, there are some statements in the scriptures that emphasize on the difference between the Lord and his energies. Okay. There are some statements that emphasize the non-difference between the Lord and his energies. So those statements that emphasize the difference between the Lord and his energies, whether it is Lord and the universe or Lord and living entities. If the philosophy or if the statements are differentiating the Lord and the energies, they are called Bheda Vakyas. And those statements that are emphasizing the non-difference between the Lord and energies, they are called Abheda Vakyas. Dvaitavadis, they take all the Bheda Vakyas literally and they take Abheda Vakyas figuratively. Or they ignore the Abheda Vakyas, they focus more on the Bheda Vakyas. And Advaitavadis, they take Abheda Vakyas more seriously and they don't give so much importance to Bheda Vakyas. Getting right? The Lord and we are one in the same, in the sense that He is spiritual, we are spiritual. He is eternal, we are eternal. Isn't it? Thus, quality-wise, we both are same. Just like a drop of water and the entire ocean. They both are same in quality. In the chemical composition, they are same. But the quantity-wise, they're different, right? So the Bhedavakyas are emphasizing on the difference in the quantity of little water drop in the water ocean. And the Abhedavakyas are emphasizing on the non-difference between the quality of this water drop and this ocean. Okay. So both are simultaneously correct. If you give importance to only one statement, Bhedavakyas, then you are a Dvaitavadi. If you give importance to only the Bhedavakyas, Bhedavakyas, then you are a Dvaitavadi. What is that? Dvaitavadi, correct. Yeah. So Bheda, Abheda.
So, Prabhu, why I ask is, we at least compare, like we are like qualitatively, like we are just unsure of Krishna, but Advaita philosophers like completely ignore the presence, like there are no two to compare. So it's just the Atma spread around. So they are ignoring the philosophy, I felt. So yeah, I couldn't like compare both, like as if you said no, like both are same, so I couldn't take it both as both are same, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, there's a difference. Both are similar in quality, but there's a difference. Now the quality of the plastic in this earbuds is different from the quality of plastic in this. Both are plastic. Both are exactly plastic. But this is like 2 rupees or 3 rupees. This may be 1,000 rupees. And in fact, there is more quantity here than this, right? There is a difference. We cannot say they both are plastic in the sense that they both are, like, in that sense, they both are same. A be plastic, but there's a difference, right? Similarly, there is gold in gold mine, and there is gold in a golden earring. So they both are gold, they both are same. But you can't just take a lump of gold from the mine and then hang around your ear. See, my earring is looking nice. You can't say that, right? It has to be in a certain shape, isn't it? So there's a difference. So the difference is a Bheda Vakya, and the non-difference is Bheda Vakya. So you need to understand the spirit behind these two statements. If you just lean towards one particular set of statements or type of statements, then it becomes Dvaita or Advaita. But we are Achintya Bheda Bheda. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay,
Hare
we'll conclude
Krishna.
here, 9:32.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sleeping
Thank you very
time.
much. Thanks for your valuable time. We just few months back finished your Gita Subodhini when you addressed last time. And this time we have taken with the blessings of His Grace Radhakund Prabhuji the Bhagavata Pravaha. So with the opening of your sweet lecture and blessings today, so we are sure that we will do it very nicely with it. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your time once again. Please do come and bless us frequently whenever possible.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. प्रसुद्धम्मा प्रभुजी, you can तुमका कंटिन्यू करूया. जस्ट ब्रीफ आउट करू.
हरे कृष्ण. हें आमकां भागवत पुराण कोंकणी प्लॅटफॉर्मा निमित्त इतले चंद मुरलीधर शरण प्रभून सांगला आमकां गॉडाची गौरांग दर्शन प्रभू मुखार विंदा दुखून तांगेल ते आयकुचें म्हणल्यार खंयची बुक आमी आतां मुखार स्टडी करता आसत. सो भारी व्हड चांग आमगेलें भाग्य हें आयकूच तांगेलें आमी अटेंड केलेलें आमकां कळना अशें बोल तांगेलें कसं एक डेप्थ आसा त्या विशयार. सो एक 5 मिनट भितर समरायज करता सो दॅट आमी कंक्लूड करची पयशी फुडें. तांगे लँग्वेज तांणी सांगची इतली गॉड आसा की म्हटल्यार लँग्वेज भाशा गुर्त जावका म्हूण ना दिसता. तांगेली भावना इतली चांग आसा आयकताना खुशी जाता. जाल्यार आमी आमगेले कोंकणी प्लॅटफॉर्मार एक आशिल्लें आमगेलें एक कर्तव्य की आमगेले भाशा आमी एक सांगून ताका कंक्लूड करूया. सो एक 5 मिनट भितर कंक्लूड करता. सो तांणी स्टार्ट आसतना सांगिल्लें की हें पुरा विशेश जावन आशिल्लें शास्त्रांत वेदव्यास देवान बरयलेलें जाल्यार तांकां एक प्रकाराची मना शांती नाशिल्ली. तांणी तांगेले गुरुले नारद मुनीले आज्ञा लेखारी तांकां कळ्ळें की तांणी भक्तीचें एक महात्म्य भक्तीची महिमा तांगेले ते एकदम उद्दारसून येवच तशी उद्देन येवच तशी तांगेले खंयचें शास्त्रांत दाखयनी ताका आनीक एक असं पुढे ताचे विशयार बरोवका पडटलें म्हणून त्या एक तांगेले गुरुला आज्ञा नारद मुनीले आनी तांगेले एक प्रबल इच्छा आशिल्ली की देवाल भक्ती विशयची एक बरोवका विशय ताजेर एक भागवतम आयिल्लें. आनी सांगलें की भागवतम म्हळ्यार असल काव्य की व्हड देखून व्हड वैष्णवाक खुशी जाता आयकल्यार आनी कोणाक भक्ती विशय कांय गोतना तांणी वेळ आयकल्यार तांगेले जिवनांत आशिल्ली तापत्रय दूर जाता म्हळ्यार सगळें स्पेक्ट्रम तांणी सांगलें. व्हड भक्त असो कांय गोतना अशी तांणी कसं की आयकतात सूर्यपंथा दोग जनाक तांकां कसं की एक फल मेळचें साध्य आसा ह्या भागवतमा निमित्त म्हणून. आनी तांणी सांगलें भागवतमान तूं भक्ताली काणी आसा आनी पुरा प्रकाराच भक्त आसा ती म्हणून की चेडू आसा ती प्रल्हाद महाराज तूं व्हड व्हड रायल विशय आसा परीक्षित महाराज आतां कोण असुर आसा ती म्हळ्यार आनी व्हड व्हड देवी आसा कुंती देवी द्रौपदी पुरा जनाल विशय आसा म्हळ्यार पुरा प्रकाराच भक्ताल विशय हें भागवतमात सांगयता म्हणून. आनी तांणी सांगिल्लें की भक्तीन तूं आशिल्लें विंगड प्रकाराच कसं एक भावन येता तांतूय मस्त एक नमुन्याचे विंगड प्रकाराच भक्तीन तूं भावन आसा जाल्यार तांतूय विशेष जावन आशिल्लें तें वैष्णव विष्णू भक्ती तें कसन एक तांतू ताची गोड एक भागवतमान दाखोवचें पुरो म्हणून. आनी तांणी वेदव्यास देवालें हें भागवतमा विशीं तांणी एक एग्जाम्पल दिता आनी सांगलें की कोणी एक रांदपाचे पुरो ताणें मस्त सकट आयटम केला त्या दिवस एक 50 आयटम केला म्हणलें की आतां तुमकां कळना हें 50 आयटमान तूं खंयची लायक आसचें पुरो म्हणून ताका तुमी ते रांदप्याक निमगिता ती तुगेलें कसं रेकमेंडेशन आसलें की भारी लायक आसा आनी तुला 50 आयटमान तुलें आनी तो सांगतलो वय हे 50 आयटम पुरा लायक आसा जाल्यार हांतूलें एक असो एक आयटम आसा आनी तो मस्त मेगेल म्हणटात पळय मेगेल पुरा मनांत आशिल्लें पुरा कसं एक नॉलेज ज्ञान शक्ती पुरा हांतू घालेलें आसा म्हणून तशी म्हणटा तुमकां कळटा की त्या एक आयटम स्पेशल म्हणून म्हळ्यार रांदप्यान सांगलें म्हळ्यार तुमी डेफिनेटली त्या करता ती ह्यांची तांणी दृश्टांत घेतलें की वेदव्यास देवान सांगिल्लें आसा की हांव मस्त विंगड शास्त्र बरयलेलें आसा जाल्यार हांतून पुरा कशी म्हणटात पळय त्या शास्त्रांत पुरा कशी व्हड शास्त्र भागवतम म्हणून आनी ते म्हणटात आनी ते 2 शब्द यूज केले रुचिरम नवम म्हणून म्हळ्यार भागवतम म्हणजे रुचीची खंयचें शास्त्र ना आनी नवम म्हळ्यार इतल्या पंत आयकल्यार आनी आमगेले साधारण म्हणटा थोडे अनुभव आसा पुरो की सानपण देखून आमी प्रल्हाद आली ध्रुवाल आनी काणी आयकता ती जाल्यार आत्तां एक क्लास आयकूंक जाल्यार आमकां तांकां कसं की तांकां एक नवें कसं की एक म्हणटात पळय एक रुची मेळटा ऑल्दो आमी इतले पंत आयकून आसचे पुरो सो त्या एक तांणी दाखयलें आनी तांणी सांगलें की हें भागवत म्हळ्यार देवालयाची अवतार ग्रंथा रुपारी म्हणून हें एक पॉयंट सांगलें आनी तांगेले पुरा एका स्कंद देखून 12 स्कंद तें तांणी सांगलें की हें देवालयाची दिव्य अंगाचे एक भाग म्हणून म्हळ्यार एका स्कंद म्हळ्यार तांगेलें दिव्य चरण कमल तशी एक मुखार वचून धांची स्कंद म्हळ्यार तांगेले मुखारविंद तशी म्हणून तांणी त्या भागवतमा विशय सांगलें. आनी तांणी आनीक पॉयंट सांगली म्हळ्यार दर्शन म्हळ्यार ताचे 2 मिनींग आसता एक म्हळ्यार आमी देवाल मुखार येवन विग्रहा मुखार येवन श्री विग्रहा मुखार येवन दर्शन घेवचें तें एक आसा आनी दोनीच दर्शन म्हळ्यार आमकां केन्ना खंयचे एक भक्तीचे सिद्धांता विशय मन आवडटा त्यातनं आमकां त्या विशयाचें दर्शन जाल्लें म्हणून. ताका तांणी सांगलें की भागवतम असलो विशय की आमकां भक्ती ज्ञाना विशीं दर्शन दिता म्हणून. ताचे विशीं आमकां कळटा तें एक सांगलें. आनी तांणी सांगलें की भगवत गीतांत तूं जन्म कर्मचे मे दिव्यम म्हूण तांणी भगवत गीतांत देवान सांगिल्लें आसा की हें म्हगेलें जन्म कर्म आनी दिव्य कोणाक हें मनावता तांकां पुनर्जन्म ना म्हणून. जाल्यार भगवत गीतांत तांणी देवान सांगिल्लें मात जाल्यार देवाल धर्म कर्म ताजे विवर्सून बरयलेलें आसा भागवतम. सो नॅचरली भगवत गीता वाजिल्यार आयकल्यार ताची फलस्वरूप आमी नेक्स्ट बूक म्हळ्यार भागवतमांतून रुची घेवन तांतूं मुखार सुका म्हणून. म्हळ्यार कृष्णान सांगिल्लें आज्ञा आमी पालन केल्या म्हणचे जाल्लें त्या रुपारी तांणी सांगलें. आनी वेदव्यास देवान करुणास तांगेली आशिल्ली तांणी तें एम्फसायज केल्लें की तांगेल करुणान आमकां हें कृष्णालें देवाल विशीं आमकां हें पुरो सांगिल्लें आसा म्हणून. म्हळ्यार आमकां देवाल कितले एक महिमा आसा ते भागवतम वाजिल्यार ते विवर्सून कळटा. देवाल एक व्हडपण म्हणटा पळय ग्रेटनेस ते भागवतम वाजिल्यार कळटा म्हणून. आनी तांणी सांगलें की खंयचें एक रुखाचें मेन पार्ट म्हळ्यार ताचें फल. रूख व्हड अशें पुरो जाल्यार आमी ताजें मूल पाण त्या पुरो खायना ती. रुखा विंगड कुडकाण खायना ताजें एक फल खाता ती. तशींच हें शास्त्राचें पुरा तांणी सांगलें निगम कल्पतरोर म्हणून. सगळें शास्त्राचें पुरा हाजें शास्त्राचें तें गोड फल हें भागवतम म्हणून. मुखारसून तांणी हें पॉयंट एक सांगलें की चैतन्य महाप्रभून जप कोरका वय जाल्यार श्रवण वय कोरका म्हूण सांगिल्लें. आनी हें भागवतमाचें प्रमाण म्हळ्यार प्रमाण अमलम म्हणून. म्हळ्यार तुका कसलें दोश नातील हें एक शास्त्र तें आमी घेवका म्हणून. आनी हें हांवें सांगलें की रूप गोस्वामीन सांगिल्लें की 5 एक व्हड रुपार एक भक्ती करचें तूं तातूंत एक व्हड विशय म्हळ्यार भागवत श्रवण करचें त्या पॉयंट सांगलें. आनी तांणी सांगलें की कृष्णान हें तांगेला अवतार समाप्त करून तांणी गोलोक वृंदावन वताना तांणी सांगलें की कलियुगा जना खातीर तांणी ग्रंथ रुपार अपास अवतार घेतलें. ताका तांणी ताजें एक विशय भागवतमाचें लाभ घेवन देवालें आमी आशिर्वाद पावयेता म्हणून. 10 टॉपीक आसता तूं आनी ते सांगले विशय की भागवतमाचे 10 टॉपीक आसा जाल्यार मेन विशय म्हळ्यार भक्तीची. खंयचें भागवतमांत कसो उद्देन येता ती भक्ती म्हणून. 18,000 श्लोक आसा जाल्यार 4 रुपारी मस्त सकड विशय हातूंत सांगिल्लो आसा. आनी तांणी कन्क्लूड करतना एक लास्टार एक पॉयंट सांगली म्हळ्यार भागवतम आमी कशी तें भागवतमाक वाजिताना कसं एक आमगेली एक भावना सुका म्हणून. तांणी सांगलें की आमकां निर्मल मनान सिन्सियरली इगरनेस म्हळ्यार उत्साहपूर्वक आनी एक जावका म्हणून ते इगरनेस म्हाका हें वाजूका म्हाका कसं एक चांग भाग्य आनी हें कसं एक विशय मेळ्ळलो आसा हें हांव ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी घेवका हें अवसर म्हाका घेवका हें लाभ घेवका त्या प्रकारार भावनान आमी तांतूं मुखार सुनू तें दिव्य ग्रंथाचें अध्ययन करता.